The Art of the Start by Guy Kawasaki. Picture this. It's 1983. Personal computers are these clunky beige monsters that talk to you in green text against black screens. They're basically fancy calculators for nerds and number crunchers, definitely not something an artist or writer would dream of using. But tucked away in a building in Cupertino, California, there's this scrappy little team working on something completely different, something that would blow people's minds. They're calling it the Macintosh. These folks weren't just slapping together another computer, they genuinely believed they could change the world. They were starting a revolution. And right in the thick of it was this young guy named Guy Kawasaki. His job? Well, it wasn't just selling a product. It was convincing the world to believe in an entirely new way of thinking. And you know what? He pulled it off. Fast forward a few decades, and Guy Kawasaki became the go-to mentor for anyone with that itch. You know the one, that nagging feeling that the world could be so much better if someone would just start something new. That's exactly what this book, The Art of the Start, is all about. This isn't your typical snooze-fest business manual drowning in corporate buzzwords and complicated theories. Think of it more like a field guide, a straight-shooting mentor who's been there, done that, and is ready to share everything he's learned from turning tiny sparks of ideas into raging bonfires. It's become the Bible for entrepreneurs, creators, and anyone who wants to shake things up, for one simple reason: it actually works. So what's the secret sauce for starting something great? Is it some brilliant idea, a massive loan, a fancy MBA from an Ivy League school? Guy would laugh and tell you it's none of that. He'd tell you that the art of starting begins with one simple, powerful question. And by the end of this journey together, you won't just know that question. You'll have a complete roadmap to answer it. You'll understand how to create an idea people can't help but fall in love with, how to build a team that'll fight alongside you through thick and thin, and how to create something that genuinely matters. And here's the thing. This isn't just about launching a business. It's about starting anything. A nonprofit, a school, a club, a movement. It's about turning that burning desire to change the world from a dream into reality. So let's dive in. All right, so you've got an idea. Maybe it's just a whisper in the back of your mind. Or maybe it's screaming at you. Could be an app, a coffee shop, or even a charity to save the whales. It's exciting and terrifying all at once. And here's where most people mess up. They immediately ask, how can I make money from this? Guy Kawasaki would gently put his hand on your shoulder and tell you to pump the brakes. The companies that truly change the world, they never start with that question. They start with something way more powerful. How can I make meaning? This is the bedrock of everything. Making meaning is about creating something that genuinely makes the world a better place. It's about improving people's quality of life, fixing something that's terribly wrong, or saving something beautiful from disappearing. Money, power, prestige, those are just happy side effects. The real fuel that'll keep you going through sleepless nights and crushing self-doubt, that's meaning. Think about it for a second. When you're building something from nothing, you're going to face rejection. You'll work crazy hours for little pay. You'll carry the weight of your team's hopes on your shoulders. If you're only in it for the cash, you'll burn out faster than a cheap candle. But if you believe deep in your bones that the world would be genuinely worse off without your idea, well, that fire's pretty hard to put out. So how do you know if you're on the right track? Guy gives us this simple exercise. Finish this sentence. If my organization never existed, the world would be worse off because... If you've got a powerful answer that gives you goosebumps, congratulations, you've found your starting point. Now, once you've nailed down your meaning, most organizations rush to create a mission statement. You know the type. Those long, boring paragraphs stuffed with corporate nonsense like synergy, world-class, and mission-critical. They get framed, hung in the lobby, and promptly forgotten by everyone. Guy says forget the mission statement. It's basically a waste of everyone's time. What you actually need is a mantra. Here's the difference. A mantra is short, punchy, and powerful. Just 3 or 4 words that capture the soul of what you do. And get this, it's not for your customers, it's for your team, It's the guiding light that helps them make decisions every single day. Let me give you some examples. Nike's mantra isn't some rambling paragraph about shareholder value. It's simply authentic athletic performance. That's it. If you work at Nike and you're designing a new shoe, you can ask yourself, does this create authentic athletic performance? If not, you're heading in the wrong direction. Disney's is fun family entertainment. Starbucks, rewarding everyday moments. These mantras stick in your brain. More importantly, they're easy to live by. They're your team's North Star, and while a tagline is for customers, like Nike's Just Do It, a mantra is for your people. It's why they show up every morning. So you've got your meaning and your mantra. What's next? Do you fire up your laptop and start cranking out a 200-page business plan? Maybe create a 60-slide PowerPoint deck? Wrong, wrong, and wrong again. The next step, and this is crucial, is to just get going. This is what entrepreneurship is really about. It's about doing, not planning to do. Time to start building, creating, and delivering your product or service. Think soldering irons, hammers, and writing code. The biggest enemy of a great start? Overthinking. The hardest part about getting started is, well, actually getting started. You should always be selling, not strategizing about how you're going to sell. Don't get stuck in endless testing cycles. That's what big, slow companies with more money than sense do. Your goal right now is to get something, even if it's far from perfect, into the hands of real people. Good enough is good enough. Like Guy says, it's not about how great you start, it's about how great you end up. While you're getting going, keep these key principles in mind. First, think big. Don't just aim to be a tiny bit better than what already exists. Aim to be 10 times better. When Jeff Bezos launched Amazon, he didn't create a bookstore with a few more titles than your local shop. He built one with millions of titles. He completely changed the game. Second, find a few soulmates. That myth about the lone genius inventor? Total fiction. Sure, history loves to tell the story of Steve Jobs and the Macintosh or Thomas Edison with the light bulb, but the truth is that successful companies always start with a team. You need at least one other person who shares your passion, someone whose skills complement yours. And third, polarize people. This might sound weird, but you don't want to create something everyone thinks is just okay. You want something that makes some people absolutely love it, even if others hate it. Think about cars like the Mini Cooper or the Toyota Scion XB. People either worship them or can't stand them. That's actually a good thing. The only response that should truly scare you? Indifference. A shrug of the shoulders is the kiss of death. Your goal is to create passion, whether it's for you or against you. As you're building your first prototype, you're probably wondering, how do I know what to build? Well, there are a few different approaches, and they're all equally valid. The best one, according to Guy, is the I want one philosophy. This is when you're designing something for yourself, because you can't find it anywhere else. Ferdinand Porsche famously said, "In the beginning I looked around, and, not finding the automobile of my dreams, decided to build it myself." That's the purest form of market research there is. Another path is the "my employer wouldn't do it" approach. You spot a massive opportunity at your current company, but they're too slow, too bureaucratic, or too worried about protecting what they already have. So you leave and do it yourself. Then there's the "what the hell it's possible" approach. This is for the true visionaries who create markets that don't even exist yet. When Motorola invented the cell phone, nobody was asking for one. A portable phone sounded like an oxymoron. But they saw what was possible and brought the future to us. Finally, there's the "there must be a better way" philosophy. This is eBay's story. Pierre Omidyar wasn't obsessed with collecting Pez dispensers, despite what the popular myth says. He was a brilliant programmer who wanted to create a perfect market, a more efficient and fair way for people to buy and sell stuff. He simply saw a better way and decided to build it. Whichever path you choose, here's the key. Use your prototype as your market research. Don't get stuck in endless focus groups and surveys trying to predict what people might want. Build your best shot, get it out there, and then listen. Adjust quickly based on what real customers tell you. Revise your product not to make people love it, but because they already love it and want it to be even better. All right, so you're making meaning, you've got a mantra, and you're building. Now it's time to think about the business model. This sounds intimidating, but Guy boils it down to two beautifully simple questions. Who has your money in their pockets? And how are you going to get it into your pocket? That's it. The first question helps you define your customer and understand their pain. The second is about creating a sales system that ensures your revenues are bigger than your costs. You can't change the world if you're out of business. And when the money runs out, you're definitely out of business. When you're defining your business model, be specific. Don't be afraid of targeting a small niche. Most successful companies started by owning a tiny market and then expanding. It's way better to be a big fish in a small pond than a minnow in the ocean. Keep it simple. If you can't describe your business model in 10 words or less, you probably don't have one. eBay's model? We charge a listing fee plus a commission. Done. No jargon. And don't try to reinvent the wheel. Commerce has been around for thousands of years. Chances are, a successful business model for what you're doing already exists. Copy it and focus your innovation on your actual product or service. Guy offers one last, slightly cheeky tip for testing your business model. Ask women. His theory is that men have this killer gene that makes us want to compete and destroy. This means almost any business model that involves crushing a competitor looks great to a guy. Women, he argues, don't have this gene and are therefore much better at judging whether a business model actually makes sense and provides real value. It's a humorous take, but there's truth there. Get diverse perspectives from people who aren't blinded by the thrill of competition. The final step in this initial phase is to weave a MAT. MAT stands for milestones, assumptions, and tasks. This is your simple, practical alternative to a bloated business plan. It's how you keep your team on track when everything goes sideways. And trust me, everything will go sideways. First, your milestones. These are the 7 major goals every startup must hit to survive. Miss one, and you might not make it. They are: 1. Prove your concept. 2. Complete your design specifications. 3. Finish a prototype. 4. Raise capital if you need it. 5. Ship a testable version to customers. 6. Ship the final version. 7. Achieve break-even. These milestones should be your focus. Forget the fancy mission statement in the lobby. Put these 7 milestones on the wall with target dates, where everyone can see them. Next, your assumptions. Make a list of everything you're assuming to be true about your business. Things like market size, profit margins, how long it takes to close a sale, and how much it costs to get a customer. Write these down and constantly test them against reality. When an assumption turns out to be wrong, and many will, you need to adjust quickly. Finally, your tasks. This is everything else you need to do to build an organization. Renting office space, finding vendors, setting up payroll, filing legal documents. The point isn't to drown in details, but to understand the full scope of what you're taking on so nothing slips through the cracks. With your mat in hand, you've got a real, living guide for your journey. Now, let's shift gears. What if you're not in a garage? What if you're an aspiring entrepreneur working inside a big company? This is called internal entrepreneuring, or being an intrapreneur. You might think it's easier. After all, you've got resources, a big brand, and a steady paycheck. Think again. The challenges are just different. Guy was part of one of the most successful internal startups in history, the Macintosh division at Apple. He says its success came down to 2 words: Steve Jobs. Jobs had the vision, the power, and the reality-bending personality to protect the project from corporate bureaucracy. But you don't need to be Steve Jobs to succeed. You just need to play by different rules. First, put the company first. Your motivation has to be helping the company, not building your own little empire. If people see you're doing it for the greater good, they'll support you. Second, be ready to kill the cash cows. Often, your new product will threaten an existing, profitable one. The Macintosh killed the Apple II, which was the company's main moneymaker. But it's better that you kill your own cash cow than let a competitor do it. Third, stay under the radar. Unlike a startup that needs all the attention it can get, an internal project should stay quiet. The higher you go in a company, the more people you'll find who want to keep things exactly as they are. Stay hidden until your project is too far along to be killed. A great trick? Get a separate building, close enough to access resources, but far enough to discourage random visits from what Guy affectionately calls corporate pukes. Next, find a godfather. This is a senior, respected person in the company who's safe from petty politics. They can give you advice, protection, and cover when you need it. And finally, reboot your brain. The rules for success in a big company are often the exact opposite of what works in a startup. Big companies want to be everything to everyone. Startups need to find a niche and dominate it. Big companies write 200-page business plans. Startups need a 20-page plan built around a killer 10-slide pitch. Big companies stay at the Ritz-Carlton. Startups crash on a college buddy's couch to save money. You have to unlearn what you know to innovate. Now, whether you're in a garage or a cubicle, once your idea starts taking shape, you need to master positioning. Positioning is simply the answer to, what do you do? Sounds easy, right? But most companies mess this up. They describe themselves in vague, self-centered terms like, we are the leading provider of world-class solutions. This means absolutely nothing. Good positioning is positive, customer-focused, and empowering. It's not about destroying your competition. It's about what you do for your customers. It should be clear, specific, and rooted in what you're actually good at. A great test for your positioning is what Guy calls the opposite test. If you describe your product as high quality, robust, and easy to use, ask yourself, would any of your competitors describe their product as low quality, fragile, and hard to use? Of course not. So you're not saying anything different, you're just making noise. Instead of meaningless adjectives, provide concrete proof. Don't say your product is fast. Say, real-world tests show a 5-fold improvement in speed. Let people draw their own conclusions. And when you communicate your positioning, speak plain English. Cut the acronyms and technical jargon. One of Guy's clients pitched their company as, utilizing the 2048-bit Diffie-Hellman key exchange and 168-bit triple DES, we provide intrusion protection. After some coaching, they changed it to, we safeguard your communications. Much better. If your receptionist can't explain what your organization does in one sentence, your positioning isn't working. Once you know what you do, you need to tell people about it. For an entrepreneur, the phrase isn't, I think, therefore I am. It's, I pitch, therefore I am. You're always pitching to investors, customers, potential partners, new employees. Guy has sat through thousands of pitches in his career, and he says most of them are terrible. So he came up with a simple, powerful rule to fix them, the 10-20-30 rule. A pitch should have 10 slides. It should last no more than 20 minutes. And it should use a 30-point font. Let me break that down. 10 slides. That's all you get. This forces you to focus on the absolute essentials. The goal of a pitch isn't to close a deal right there. It's to spark interest and get to the next step. Your 10 slides should cover the problem you're solving, your solution, your business model, the secret sauce or technology behind it, your marketing and sales plan, the competition, your team, your financial projections, and where you are right now. 20 minutes. You're usually scheduled for an hour, but you should never talk the whole time. The most valuable part of any meeting is the discussion. A great pitch is a conversation, not a monologue. present for 20 minutes, and leave 40 minutes for questions and discussion. And 30-point font. This is brilliant practical advice. First, it makes your slides readable, especially for older investors whose eyesight might not be perfect. But more importantly, it prevents you from cramming too much text on a single slide. With a 30-point font, you can't fit paragraphs of text. You're forced to distill your points and use the slides to guide your presentation, not as a script you read from. Remember, people read faster than you talk. If your slides are text-heavy, your audience will read ahead instead of listening to you. When you're pitching, answer the audience's first unspoken question within the first minute. What does your organization do? Don't start with your life story. Don't build up to some dramatic reveal. Just tell them, we sell software, we run a school, we protect the environment. Once they have that anchor, they can relax and listen to the rest. And for every claim you make, imagine a little person on your shoulder whispering, "So what?" You say, "We use digital signal processing in our hearing aids." The little voice asks, "So what?" You reply, "Our product increases the clarity of sounds." Then you add the two most powerful words in a pitch. For instance, if you're at a noisy party, you'll be able to clearly hear what the person you're talking to is saying. That combination, answering "so what" and giving a concrete example, is unstoppable. Let's say your pitch works. You've sparked interest, and now people want a business plan. This is where many entrepreneurs make a mistake. They think the business plan is the main event, and the pitch is just a summary. It's actually the other way around. A good business plan is a detailed version of a great pitch. So pitch first. Try it out on mentors, colleagues, anyone who'll listen. Refine it based on feedback. Get the story right. Once your 10-slide pitch is solid, then you can write the plan. And when you do, focus 80% of your effort on the executive summary. It's the most important part because if it doesn't grab the reader, they'll never get to page 3. It should be a clear, concise description of the problem, your solution, your business model, and your secret sauce. Keep the whole plan under 20 pages. Bind it with a staple, not some fancy leather cover. And understand this dirty little secret about startup business plans. You should write it in a deliberate style, as if you know exactly what the future holds. But you should be thinking and acting in an emergent style, ready to pivot and adapt to reality. The plan is a snapshot in time. Your ability to adjust is what determines success. Now let's talk about the lifeblood of any new venture, money, or, more accurately, the lack of it. This brings us to bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is about surviving the early days when you have little to no capital. It's about being scrappy, resourceful, and laser-focused. Bill Reichert, one of Guy's partners, likes to say that the odds of a startup raising venture capital are about the same as getting struck by lightning while standing at the bottom of a swimming pool on a sunny day. So you have to learn to survive on your own. The key to bootstrapping is managing for cash flow, not profitability. Paper profits don't matter if you can't pay the rent. This means you need a business model with short sales cycles and quick payments. Get cash in the door fast and stretch out payments to vendors as long as possible. This also means building a bottom-up forecast, not a top-down one. A top-down forecast is what Guy calls the Chinese soda lie. It goes like this. There are 1.3 billion people in China. If we can just get 1% to buy our soda, we'll be rich. Pure fantasy. A bottom-up forecast starts with reality. We have 5 salespeople. Each can make 10 calls a day. 5% will convert within 6 months. Each sale is worth $240. This gives you a much more realistic and often sobering picture of potential revenue. Bootstrapping also means you ship, then test. Get your product to market immediately, even if it's imperfect. The cash flow and real-world feedback are more valuable than waiting for perfection. The first Macintosh in 1984 didn't have a hard disk, didn't have color, and had almost no software. But it was revolutionary, and it got to market. When it comes to your team, forget about hiring proven industry veterans with big salaries and bigger egos. Focus on young, hungry, talented people, willing to work for equity, who believe in your meaning. Experience can be overrated. Like Guy says, sometimes ignorance is empowering. If you don't know something is impossible, you're more likely to just go do it. A classic bootstrapping technique, especially for software companies, is starting as a service business. Instead of trying to build a perfect product in a vacuum, start by doing consulting work for clients. Use their problems to guide product development, and use their fees to fund it. Once the product is ready, transition from service to product company. In everything you spend money on, focus on function, not form. Need an accountant? Yes. Does it need to be a big-name firm with walnut-paneled conference rooms? No need chairs for your office? Yes. Do they need to be $700 Herman Miller chairs, symbols of the dot-com bubble? Absolutely not. The function of a chair is to support your butt. A cheap one does that just fine. This bootstrap mentality is a stage, not permanent. But it's the crucible that forges great companies. Apple, Dell, Microsoft, eBay. They all started this way. As your bootstrapped venture gains traction, you'll need to grow your team. This brings us to recruiting. Steve Jobs had a saying, "A players hire A players. B players hire C players." It's a trickle-down effect that can lead to what Guy calls a, quote, bozo explosion. The single most important job of a founder is to hire people better than themselves. And those people's most important job is to hire people better than them. This requires humility and confidence. When looking for these A players, don't get hung up on where they went to school or what big companies they worked for. Success in a big, established company doesn't guarantee success in a chaotic startup. The skills are completely different. Instead, focus on 3 things. 1. Can they do what you need? 2. Do they believe in the meaning you're creating? Hire people already infected with enthusiasm for your cause. It's easier to teach an infected person skills than to infect a skilled person with belief. Your best recruiting source is often your own customer base. And 3. Hire for major strengths, not lack of weaknesses. People without major weaknesses tend to be mediocre. High achievers who change the world often have big flaws. Steve Jobs wasn't known for compassion. Bill Gates isn't a design guru. You're building a team to assemble diverse, complementary strengths that cover each other's weaknesses. And once you've hired someone, the recruiting doesn't stop. You have to re-recruit your employees every single day, keeping them inspired, challenged, and happy to be part of the journey. Now let's say bootstrapping is working, your team is growing, but to reach the next level, you need a significant cash injection. Time to face the lightning-filled swimming pool and raise capital. The most important thing to understand is that investors don't fund business plans. They fund businesses. The single best way to get investment is to show traction. Traction is proof you're building something people want. For most businesses, traction means sales. People willing to open their wallets and give you money. Show that, and the rest, your team, your technology, becomes much more believable. When approaching investors, don't just send a cold email. Get an introduction from a trusted source, a lawyer, an accountant, another entrepreneur they've funded, or a professor. This tilts the playing field in your favor and ensures they'll take a serious look. Be prepared for lies and trick questions. Guy has a hilarious and painfully accurate list of the top 10 lies entrepreneurs tell investors. Number 1. Our projection is conservative. No, it's not. You're picking a number you think is high enough to be interesting, but low enough not to sound crazy. Investors know this. Number 3. Boeing is signing our contract next week. Contracts are never signed on time. Talk about big deals after they're done. Investors also have trick questions to test you. Do you see yourself as the long-term chief? The wrong answer is a simple yes. The right answer is, I've been focused on getting our product to market. I'll do whatever's necessary to make this company successful, including stepping aside if needed. This shows maturity and focus on the company's success, not your ego. Raising money is a dating process. It's long, difficult, and full of rejections. The key is persistence, but persistence with proof. Every time you follow up, have good news, a new customer, a milestone hit. Otherwise, you go from persistent to pest. Once you have partners and investors, branding becomes crucial. But branding isn't about Super Bowl ads and expensive public relations firms. For a startup, branding is evangelism. It's converting people to your belief, doctrine, or cause. It starts with having a great, contagious product. Something cool, effective, distinctive, disruptive, and emotional. Something that makes people joyful when they use it. Then, lower the barriers to adoption. Make it easy to try your product. Flatten the learning curve. Write a great manual. Enable test drives. Give people a safe, easy first step. Then, recruit evangelists. These are your most passionate customers who believe in your product as much as you do. Ask them for help. Give them tools to spread the word. Listen to them. Most importantly, foster a community around your product. Companies like Apple, Harley-Davidson, and Saturn have powerful communities providing technical support, social connection, and an army of volunteer salespeople. Per dollar, building a community is the cheapest and most effective way to create a lasting brand. Finally, we come to the end of the journey, but it's really the beginning. The ultimate art is being a mensch. Mensch is a Yiddish word for someone ethical, decent, and admirable. It's the highest form of praise. For Guy Kawasaki, being a mensch isn't just nice. It's strategic for building a great, lasting organization. There are 3 pillars of menschhood. First, help many people. The real test of a mensch is helping people who can do absolutely nothing for you in return. It's about finding intrinsic joy in helping your fellow humans, without expecting rewards. Second, do what's right. Not what's easy, expedient, or saves money. Right is right, and wrong is wrong. It means honoring the spirit of agreements, not just the letter. Being honest even when it costs you. Understanding there are things more important than winning. And third, pay back society. A mensch feels deep gratitude for life's gifts, family, health, success, and feels obligated to give back. This doesn't just mean money. It means giving time, expertise, and emotional support. In the end, starting something isn't just tactical steps. It's an act of creation reflecting who you are. The meaning you make, the team you build, and the brand you create are all extensions of your values. If you want to build something great, you must first strive to be something great. As we step back and look at the art of the start, it's clear why this book has stood the test of time. It was first published in 2004, an eternity ago in tech and business, yet its lessons feel more relevant today than ever. That's because Guy Kawasaki didn't write about fleeting business trends. He wrote about timeless human principles. It's not about gaming the latest social media algorithm or crafting the perfect pitch for a crypto startup. It's about the fundamental, unchanging truths of bringing an idea to life. The most powerful lesson for me is the relentless focus on making meaning. In a world obsessed with quick profits, overnight success, and personal branding, Kawasaki's message is a powerful antidote. He reminds us that the most successful and enduring ventures are built on purpose. They're born from a genuine desire to solve problems, create beauty, and make lives better. This isn't soft sentiment. It's profound strategic advantage. Meaning is the ultimate motivator. It attracts the best talent, creates passionate customers, and gives you resilience to weather inevitable storms. Another beautiful aspect is its humanity and humility. It's written by someone who's been in the trenches, seen incredible success, and made plenty of mistakes. There's no arrogance, just practical, honest advice, delivered with humor and warmth. He strips away the mystique of entrepreneurship and makes it accessible. He tells you an entrepreneur isn't some special breed, it's a state of mind. It's for the guys and gals in garages, the brave souls in established companies, and the saints starting schools, churches, and nonprofits. It's for anyone who wants to alter the future, So how can you start applying these ideas to your own life right now? Here are 3 simple actions you can take today. First, find your meaning. Take out a piece of paper and actually write the answer to that critical question. If my dream project or organization didn't exist, how would the world be a little bit worse off? Don't censor yourself. Be bold. This is your why. Second, craft your mantra. Based on that meaning, distill it into 3 or 4 powerful words. What's the guiding principle of your idea? This isn't for a business card. It's for you. It's the phrase you can repeat when you feel lost or discouraged. And third, just get going. What's the smallest possible version of your idea that you can create and share with someone today? Don't wait for the perfect plan or all the answers. Build a simple prototype. Offer your service to one person for free. The momentum from that first small step is more powerful than 100 pages of planning. That was a deep dive into the core ideas of The Art of the Start by Guy Kawasaki. We've explored the journey from making meaning to becoming a mensch, but I'll be honest, a summary is like looking at vacation photos of the Grand Canyon. It gives you an idea of the majesty, but can never replace standing on the edge and seeing it yourself. The real magic of this book is in Guy's stories, his humor, and the way his practical wisdom seeps into you as you read. This summary helps you decide if this journey is for you. If anything we've talked about today has sparked a fire in you, if it's made you lean in and think, yes, that's what I want to do, then please grab a copy. Reading it isn't just learning, it's an experience that can genuinely give you courage and tools to start something that matters. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this summary valuable, and if you believe in the power of great ideas, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's a small click for you, but makes a huge difference for us, and ensures you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep learning and growing together.